Nope, that's the wrong mic.
This is how we do it.
That's the right
Welcome
microphone.
to the Tomcast. Dun, dun, dun,
And chaos.
with chaos. Chaos doesn't think that's funny because he's not Tom. Chaos, you have to change your name now.
Yes, change it to Steven,
It's
actually.
the honorary Tom.
We're the Crystal Toms and Steven.
And
Or chaos.
Steven. We are the Crystal Toms. Always save the day. And if you think
That's
we
dusty.
can't, we'll
Happy
always find a way to podcast.
You're recording this, right?
Oh shit, I am.
Good.
Fuck.
Yay! We have an intro now.
I hate you so much right now.
You are most welcome.
Alright. Hello everybody, and welcome to the Forum Thread Tomcast, number 148.
I like it.
I am Wadabra, and here with me today I have the Excludee Chaos Mana,
Eyes.
Tijin Lee,
Hello.
and Mr. Warburg.
Hi.
It is the podcast of Toms.
It's
Ergo
a Tomcast
Tomcast
and chaos.
with chaos.
So special guest
Hey.
chaos. Welcome to the first ever Tomcast.
I was rather disappointed we didn't do a Tom.
Yeah. So
Tom.
we answer.
Tom. Let's do this.
Hi, I'm
Yeah.
Tom, and this is my friend Tom.
Let's do that. Hi, I'm Tom, and here with me today I have Tom. And then also I have Tom, and then we have Chaos over there in the corner.
It's kind of like so I posted we posted 142 today. So and at the beginning I was the only one on the podcast. It was me and Holly. So like in the description I set it up as starring Tijin, directed by Tijin, edited by Tijin, produced by Tijin, written by Rhubarb the dog.
I was wondering what that was about. I remember when you posted that. I'm like, what the fuck is he going on about?
You gotta listen. You gotta listen to our podcasts, the ones that you're not on.
I have things to do.
Like what? You have ears that are free. They're not holding anything.
I'm usually
You
doing
can
other
pet your
things that
brand
require
new,
my attention.
adorable dog that we're going to talk about in a second while you're listening to the TFT podcast. Hashtag.
This is true, though. I already told my best story on Rooster Teeth
Tell it again here.
about the whole shower thing.
What happened?
Oh, so you didn't read my journal. Okay, so
The whole
I mean,
shower
tell
thing
us
could
the
sound
people.
very, very negative very quickly.
okay.
The shower thing.
Okay, so this is probably the third day that we had Ozadax, and he's just like 2 months old, so he can't be trusted to not pee on the floor if left by himself or chew up everything. So I had the day off work, and I'm going about my business, cleaning the kitchen, doing some laundry, and I'm like, okay, I haven't had a shower since yesterday, so I need to take a shower. But what am I gonna do with this little monster? So I'm like, leave him in the living room where he's probably gonna piss on everything and then chew on something, or lock him in the bathroom with me. Like, the second option's at least a little cleaner, because if he pees in there, it's hardwood, or it's a laminate floor. So I lock him in the bathroom with me. He's okay. I get in the shower, and then I shut the curtain, and then he's not okay. Please, I'm all alone. Save me. And then I poke my head out from behind the shower curtain. I'm like, dude, be quiet. And he's like, oh, you still exist behind there. And then he like once in the bathtub with me. And that gets old really fast. So I'm like, you know what? Fine, fuck it. I'm just gonna like, I reach over and let him plop on in, and he's like, "Yay, I'm with you. I'm happy." And then he realizes that he's getting wet, and then Puppy's very unhappy. He's like, "No, I'm dying. Why am I getting
This is
wet?
puppy logic.
This is awful." And then he like shivers down by my feet in the water. I'm like, I'm showering here, dog. I'm not saving you from this water. And it takes him like 40 seconds to realize that I'm not gonna save him from the water. So then he like decides, I know I got in this way, so I'm gonna get out the same way I got in. So he like tries to climb up the shower curtain, like clawing at it. Like, oh, you little fucker. No. So I like pin him between my ankle bones, and I like have to have my feet really close together and to pin him in place. I'm like, you're gonna stay right there, and he's like, okay. And he just like looks at me so sad the whole time. Like at this point, I'm just have to like finish rinsing my hair out. So I finish washing up, get my hair rinsed out and everything, and I'm like, before I shut the water off, I'm like, I wonder if he's actually kind of cold down there, because when you get too far away from the shower stream, it kind of cools off, and sure enough, he's kind of cold to the touch. So I pick him up, and I'm like, okay, puppy, you've earned this, and I like hold him up to my chest and let the hot water directly from the shower spigot run onto him, and he just kind of melts, like all the tension in his little body just kind of melts away, and he spreads out and throws his head over my shoulder. He's like, this big sigh of relief with this hot water.
How big is he?
Oh, he's not that big. I would say
About 10 pounds.
when we got him, he had just weighed in at 7 pounds, so he's probably
wow.
about 10 pounds now. Yeah,
He's itty bitty.
tiny little terror. Ken calls him the tiny terrorist, which is pretty accurate, actually. Yeah, so yeah, he winds up really liking hot water. Then I toweled him off before I even toweled myself off, because I'm like, puppy's gonna get cold and don't want cold puppy whining again. So I get him all toweled up and he fluffs his fur up and he's like, oh yay, this is nice. And he starts kind of running around the bathroom. So I'm like, I need to let you out, little fucker. So he goes out and starts running around the living room and rubbing up against all the furniture and everything. I'm like, okay, he's good. He's not traumatized by this shower experience at all.
Your dog is like mine. Like, if he can't see me for like 5 seconds, he's like, what? I'm alone. Where is it? Where is he? What's happening? I need to find him.
I really hope his spatial awareness gets a little bit better as he gets older. Like, he's only 2 months old now, so maybe by the time he's 6 months old, he'll realize I still exist when I'm on the other side of a shower curtain. I really hope he figures that out.
See, our dog is weird. He's cool with us leaving. He doesn't like bark or get upset when we're not in the house. But if he knows we're in the house and we disappear within the house and he's not with us, then he freaks out, because he's like, okay, they have to leave in the middle of the day, but they're here now and it's their obligation to be touching me at all times. I need to be on their lap or on top of their head or rolled over on top of them or something. They need to have their hands on me at all times.
I used to play a game like that with my dog growing up. Her name was Sis. She was the same breed of dog as Ozadax's, actually. And
what is that?
A blue heeler. It's a type of Australian cattle dog.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted a red heeler. They pretty much look the exact same, except their fur coloring is a little bit different. But anyway,
one's blue, one's red.
Yeah, exactly. So we taught her this trick.
They don't get along. It's red versus blue.
I never
Those
made
two
that.
breeds are natural.
I never made
enemies.
that connection.
You are welcome.
Actually, like you might have noticed from the pictures of Ozadax on my Instagram account that he actually has red on his feet. It's like the red
Oh,
healers just
wow.
have that color all over their body.
He's a purple healer.
Yep. You caught him. He's purple.
Yep.
But anyway, yeah, Sis, she didn't like it when she wasn't able to find someone. So I would cover her eyes and cover her ears and make noise, and I would count to 10, and I have my sister hide somewhere in the house. And then when we're done counting to 10, she didn't see where she was going, and we were messing with her ears so she couldn't hear exactly where she was going. So if she was, really clever, she'd sniff her out, but she'd get so excited about finding my sister that she would forget to smell for her, and she'd run around the house just looking for her.
Like she has this gift and she doesn't use it.
Yeah, she'd like run from one side of the house to the other, whining like, I know she's here somewhere. She's here somewhere. And then like eventually she would calm down enough to where she'd just start sniffing, and she's like, oh, I know exactly where she's at. But it'd be like up to 10 minutes of her just wandering around the house, whining, trying to find her before she realized, oh yeah, I can just sniff this bitch out.
Dogs are dumb. They really forget that, like, they're completely inconsistent. Again, they're smart, but they're dumb at the same time. They're so inconsistent. They forget about their, like, super noses. They forget about that they can jump and, like, walk upstairs. Like my dog, at the start, he's a tiny dog, and he would conquer the stairs. He will jump on top of the couch, and like if me and Holly are like cuddling, he'll just jump from across the room and suddenly be on top of us. But right now, he can't jump off my bed.
It's too high.
It's like a foot,
Dude,
and he
it's
jumps.
too high.
It's too high. He can't handle it. Now he's afraid of going down the steps too, and it's just illogical. He was doing fine, and now it's just completely opposite. It's like, where did this fear come from? It's not like he like took a tumble or anything. He just is scared shitless of doing that. He can't handle it.
I'm trying to keep
Like,
Ozadax
can he
to
hop
take
up
the
but
tumble.
knock down?
He can hop up. He's done it before, but it varies. Like some things he's scared to jump up on, that
So
are
he's
low.
lost the ability to hop up on stuff now.
But no, he can do it. He jumps on things regularly higher than our bed, and he's like totally fine with that. But then when he comes to the bed, he's like, I can't do this. This is impossible. Like you have to pick me up.
Maybe because you like always had picked him up to put him up there before or
No,
something.
Yeah, it's
at
like
the
the
beginning we didn't.
It's like
And
the
he was fine.
Tejan permission. If you don't give him permission, then he's not allowed in.
I'm like telling him like get up, you do it yourself because I'm not doing it. And if you leave him down long enough, he eventually does it. But I don't have that kind of patience. I'm like, just get on the fucking bed.
Yeah,
And he's like, yes, I love you. You picked me up. It's awesome.
I'm going through something similar with Ozadex right now. I live on a second floor apartment, so we've got these nice big set of stairs from our apartment down to the floor, the main level.
Mhm.
And he was kind of trained to pee on a pee pad at first, but we're like, we need to get him used to holding it until we tell him to go outside. So we've been on the schedule to get him to go outside, and he was absolutely petrified of the stairs, both going up and going down. Understandably so. This tiny little dog with these they're pretty steep stairs. It's an older apartment complex.
Mhm.
So at first I would just carry him down the stairs and carry him up the stairs. Then yesterday I coaxed him to walk up the stairs. Like I held him by his little belly and kind of imitated his foot patterns on each step and
Mhm.
kept telling him that the steps were good. I was like petting the steps saying, oh, these are such good steps. It was something my mother used to do. Training our other dog. Like, you tell them that whatever it is that they're afraid of is good, and suddenly they're like less afraid of it.
Mhm.
Some little reverse doggy psychology there. And I
was
did
gonna
that,
say, is that's how she got you to go up steps?
it worked for me too. Yeah, it worked really well. But did that once, and then after that he was very, very cautious the first time, but I lured him with doggy treats up the stairs,
there
and
we
he like
go.
tripped multiple times. Like he almost fell down twice, but I had the leash so he couldn't fall
Aw.
too far, and lured him up the stairs with treats. And he did that twice, and after that he can run up those stairs like a champ now.
Mhm.
The way down is a little bit more tricky. Like I have to hold his butt down as he descends the stairs
What?
because his head's kind of top heavy, and so
Oh,
when he goes
fair.
to put his feet down on the lower step, trying to get his back feet also to go down there, pushes his butt out, and his butt kind of goes out just as far as his head does, and he almost does a somersault forward. So I have to hold his butt down to keep him from flopping down the stairs. It is so funny.
I've seen that.
Can
yeah,
you get
I've
this
seen
on
that.
film if that's even possible?
I don't know if I can do that and record it at the same time.
No, have Ken record you doing it.
Oh, usually
just-
this is like when he's at work.
Listen. I need footage for shenanigans.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Yeah, just
please.
if you have the ability to passively grab a camera sometime.
I will try to figure out how to record this because
and do not
it's funny.
record portrait, landscape.
I will record landscape. Don't you worry.
Good man.
I only do that by accident when I think I'm actually taking a picture.
I've done it a couple times too. I'm like, yeah, I'm recording this. I'm like, I'm a complete fucking idiot. And then you turn it sideways while you're recording, and that does nothing. That's the stupidest thing you could do because then it screws up the picture. It's dumb.
There's no hope.
You sound
No.
like it's like post-traumatic, like you're having flashbacks of sideways cameras.
Yes, I do. I freak out like that. That's my anxiety. Sideways cameras.
So your anxiety is induced by sideways camera.
Yeah.
That's his trigger
Mm.
warning.
Yeah. It's my trigger.
What's your trigger warning, Warprig?
I don't know. I'm immune to such things.
I am not triggered.
Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing.
Oh,
Much like I have nothing to add to
uh,
this conversation about indoor dogs because I've had outdoor dogs my entire life.
for
So it's
shame.
like, no, they're awesome.
For shame.
For shame.
I actually typed up. I've been planning out I've been so bored at work that I'm typing out like my Mr. Warburg show scripts and ideas and stuff. I'm
Mhm.
up to October 1st from now for a weekly script.
Damn.
And yeah, I'm just super bored at work because they front load my jobs and I'm done by noon. So it's I'm just too efficient at the job because I'm probably way overqualified. But the pay's good and the health insurance is good, so I'm cool with it.
Then you should probably move on to helping Google phase out their Flash support and whatnot.
No, I'm just working at a
That's
bank.
taking too
That's a
long.
little different than what I'm doing.
I mean, if you could, in your spare time, talk to Google.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'll get right on that after we end the Tomcast. Yeah, I'll call
Yeah,
them up.
I mean, you have until 2017. That's when they're planning on ending all Flash ads.
It's
So
really going to take them that long?
Yeah, well,
To be
let's
fair,
see.
there's a lot of internet and a lot of established things. Like,
All they have to do is flick a switch, and Flash is dead.
yeah, but
Cut the cord.
imagine,
Here's the thing.
imagine,
Cut the
like
fucking cord at this point. You know, like
it's
there's-
not just entertainment like portions of the internet that would
Oh
suffer.
no, it's all ad revenue, Flash banners and stuff like that. No, cut them off. Cut them off. It's slowing. It's fucking up the internet. We're trying to
It
progress,
really is.
and we have to. It's
So
like
what
people
would they be? What would
have to
they?
develop for
What
Internet
format
Explorer.
would they be
No,
replaced with?
fuck 'em.
No, they're replacing with HTML5 because
Yeah.
it's way more secure.
Okay, so
It's
yeah, like
secure,
all
it's
of
easier to
YouTube
easier to
stuff.
customize.
I
No,
really
it's not-
like it now
Looks on
because
mobile.
Yeah, it's not
I have-
replacing Flash players. It's replacing Flash-based advertising.
oh yeah. Well, no, YouTube has actually done that itself though. Like they don't have the separate Flash anymore.
Yeah.
It might not
I
be.
still don't understand. Like, it's still asking me to update my Flash, even though it's an HTML5 player. I'm like, I just want to watch a fucking YouTube video.
This plugin may be out of date.
Yeah.
Speaking of, have either of you guys tried YouTube Red?
I haven't.
Got it for
No.
Laser Team.
Yeah, I got it with the whole Google Play Family thing that we've been doing. But this is the first time I've actually taken advantage of one of its special features. I tweeted earlier. I started watching Laser Team because someone on Twitter tweeted about it. I'm like, oh, that's on there. Let me see if I can find it. And I'm like, well, shit, I'm not going to be able to finish watching it by the time podcast starts. Well, since we were so late, I probably could have.
Probably.
But I'm like, I actually want to see it. I want to see how this turned out. I was a little
How is
bored
it
at
so far?
first, but so far, it's gotten a few chuckles out of me. I'm hoping that it like winds up climaxing pretty well.
Climax.
That's for
As
TFT Laser.
we all hope for a good climax. Okay, that just makes it worthwhile.
Yeah, I plan to watch it after this.
Yeah.
Those are my things to do.
I'm trying to think of what I can use to describe it, but there's it's just a lot of throwaway
Yeah.
jokes, really. Not getting into spoiler territory to anyone who may be listening and hasn't watched it yet, but it's like you have this suit of armor that was made for this like super ultra macho guy who's like trained to be like the savior of Earth from this alien race, and the suit of armor was made by aliens for him, and then the cop and some people he's trying to arrest and other people from a small town like happened to be there when they accidentally crash land this craft with fireworks, and they all put on a piece of said armor. Like each one of them gets a different piece, and so they have to right now they're trying to figure out how the fuck to work together so they can keep the military from amputating their limbs to get the armor off of them. So that's their motivation. So it's kind of believable. And who is it, the guy that plays the helmet?
Gavin?
I think it is
Yes,
Gavin.
Gavin. Yep.
Yeah, like I love the fact that like he's such an idiot at in the whole beginning of the show, and then like the suit is making him smarter, and he starts speaking in a British accent. And they're like, why is he talking in a British accent? And they're like, well, he's stupid, and this is what he thinks smart people sound like. This is the smart version.
Is that how they explain that away?
Yeah,
Yeah, they do.
I'm like, that's
actually
brilliant.
pretty funny.
That's
That
brilliant.
works though. It's like so many jokes on the sub level of who Gavin is.
That's pretty funny.
Oh, and there was another one. They actually threw in a couple like red versus blue jokes too from like the original series, but I don't remember what they were now. I just remember catching them like, oh yeah, that's a line from the first season. I remember that.
That doesn't seem physically possible. I assume that's in there.
I haven't gotten to that one yet.
I just assume.
Oh yeah, I hope that's in there. Oh yeah,
Beating
but
to death with their own skull.
this doesn't seem physically possible. It's like, yep, that's what he was screaming the whole time.
I love
Oh,
it.
Yeah,
watch Red versus
I
Blue
found the
season
movie
one.
to be a really well done RT production, more than
Mhm.
like a feature film, like a standalone, like somebody else made it.
Well, it's hard to compare it to the
Yeah, because
production
it's
companies that have millions and millions.
oh
to
yeah,
throw
and that
around.
was kind of the point. I'm more curious to see what Rooster Teeth does next with their next movie, because this one obviously was much more they like acknowledgement that yes, the
just-
fans made this and this is for the fans. It's
Yeah.
like a lot of the jokes that were done and the cameos and things like that were very obvious at the Rooster Teeth community. Where it's like,
Mhm.
is this one's going to do really well? Because I mean, it made like 1.5 million on just that one day screenings, which is like
Oh wow!
half
it
the
made
budget.
That much money?
And it's like that's not even counting the YouTube Red cut and like the actual screenings, and I think they have a couple other digital release platforms, and the
I'm
Blu-ray DVD that everyone you know in the Rishkith community, a shitload of people are going to buy that thing.
I'm curious to see how I want to investigate this now because when I loaded it up on YouTube Red, it said a YouTube Red original movie. So did Rooster Teeth sell the movie to YouTube Red? I want
think
to know.
that was
like,
they
what
sold the
happened.
distribution rights.
Yeah.
Because like even in the theatrical cut, you know, in the theaters it says a YouTube Red original movie, like you know, in like a Matt Hullum film and everything like that. So they were like, you know how like in theaters would be like, oh, DNA Films or Bad Robot, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like the publishing house basically is YouTube Red.
Fascinating. Okay. That makes more sense. I don't know because the whole online it still blows my mind that YouTube is like has movies on it now.
Yeah.
Like it was interesting. It was kind of crazy.
It's the natural progression. I'm not surprised.
It is. Yeah. I don't know
I'm
why.
actually surprised it took them this long.
I think it's because I
especially
I
after
grew up
Amazon made Prime. Like they made Amazon Instant Video 4 years ago.
I really hate Amazon Prime. I really do.
I actually have it, and it.
Why?
I have never
bought
heard
so much
anyone say
audio.
that.
Why do you hate Amazon Prime?
I just hate Amazon really.
Okay, why do you hate
I
Amazon?
hate Amazon as a company because they're scum.
Yeah, I'll take
Is there
3
any
2 days.
more? Is there any more facts you can add to this?
Yeah, so they treat their employees horribly well. Just Google anything about Amazon and Amazon employees, and like they are god awful. Like I
You
believe
just phrased it though. They treat them horribly well.
Horribly well.
horribly well. Yeah, well, you know what? This is drunk me.
The Tomcast, we stream horribly well.
We stream
Yeah.
horribly well.
I
Bitches.
mean,
It's the horribly best podcast out there.
Yep.
Don't make me
The
sing,
horribly most well done thing ever.
Don't make me sing the Toms and Crystal Jim song again. I
Let's do
won't do
You
it.
should just get the Tom and Jerry
have-
theme
Kevin,
song,
it's
and
up
just
to you.
every time I say Jerry, just more Toms.
Huh?
More
Nothing.
Toms.
Never mind.
I'm
Bad joke.
confused.
I think I was speaking over him too.
Yeah, didn't help. Way to go, Tejan.
Too many Toms.
Nope.
So, did you guys know? This is all speculation, but they're trying to do a live-action Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
No.
I saw that. Oh yeah, I did. I saw those posts about it. Like they even had like this Sonic like animated GIF.
I don't
like,
want to live on this planet anymore.
advertising it. Is there anything about it, or is it just they might make a Sonic movie?
They might do it.
You know what?
It
You know
is
what?
supposed to be a live action.
I hope that they do make this Sonic movie, and I
How?
hope it bankrupts the company, and we can finally put Sonic to rest behind the
How
chemical
can
shed
they
where he
just not
belongs.
revive Sonic? How can they just? How do they keep?
Here's the other
screwing
thing,
up
though.
and
Sony's
making it
trying to
worse?
bring back Crash.
You know what? That Crash
So if
Bandicoot
they
never got
bring
bad
back-
though.
Actually, yes, it
understand.
did. Did you play the Xbox 360 games? They were so bad. Oh my
wait, I
God,
didn't
they
think
were
that
bad.
counted. I didn't know they had Crash games on
Yep,
360.
and that was after
I-
Activision sold it.
And
Oh.
yeah, you're definitely right about the like every iteration of Sonic has gotten worse. Like especially with the games, like Sonic 06 was awful. It was this big horrible thing, and then Sonic Boom. Not only did they make a bunch of very dramatic and pointless choices, it's even less complete than Sonic 06 was.
Well,
It's a piece of shit game.
I think the
It's
problem
like
that
broken beyond belief.
I said this like a while ago, but like the Barry from the Game Grumps even has this video where he like picks through the intro and like the introductory sequence, which usually most games pour all of their graphics into if they're going to do anything like that. Like that's the fine-tuned editing scene. And it's like this is where the characters skip a frame here. This character's doing a T pose here. It's like
He's like here now. He's all the way over here now. Doesn't make any sense.
What? and what?
So I think that are they still calling themselves Team Sonic?
No,
Whatever that.
I don't think so. I think
Whoever they are, it's like whoever's making these fucking games. It's like occasionally they will have a good idea, and you know how like Nintendo they get criticized for releasing the same thing over and over and over again. But when they do that, they're keeping what works and they're adding a little bit extra, but they're just kind of adding extra polish. So each version
Rarely
of
do we
Mario,
get a bad Mario.
yeah, it has gotten better and better and better. I mean, it's arguably that like the 4-player at the same time could possibly be a bad thing because you're your own worst enemy at that point in time. But still, great party game. But with
Wait,
Sonic,
the Mario World stuff?
Yeah, New Super Mario Brothers for the Wii, and then New Super Mario Brothers for the
People
Wii U.
love
Like
that.
both of those let you have four people on the screen at the same
Yeah,
time.
four
It's just
people is a
hella
little
hard.
chaotic.
Yeah.
But so speaking of like before you continue, just like we were saying, like speaking of that Mario, like the Mario Maker thing.
Oh,
Like
I love it.
that's been
I love it.
amazing hit.
I
with
thought I would hate
every-
it, but I love it. Oh,
It
yes.
works so well. Like I had my chance to like mess around and create my own like levels, and I made like a level in regular Mario, and then I unlocked the like spooky world. So I made a haunted like a haunted house, added booze, and did all these other things. Like I like how they force you to just work with the basics, and then you unlock stuff just by building. It's both the curse and the tragedy because I want to continue further because I know certain pieces exist, and it's like I can do this thing sort of.
Yeah, I haven't played the game personally myself. I have played it, but I don't own it myself. I played it when I went over to a friend's house, and he had built like 6 or 7 different levels, and he had me play test them, and I was happy to break them for him.
That's the worst. I create an entire level, and I'm like, okay, this is how it's supposed to work. My brother comes along. He breaks like the first jump. I'm like, I didn't even know that was a
He's some
thing you could
bitch.
do in Mario.
Have you
Now
have you not played Mario enough to know all the little
Not
things
the
that you can do?
Mario, not the 3D Mario. Like you could. I was trying to making one way things where you can't go back the other way can get sometimes annoying.
Yeah, like there was this one section where my friend had created this water level with all these like enemies and stuff, and I'm like, oh, I know how to solve this problem, and I just swam up to the top of the screen and swam over everything.
Oh.
And he's like, already
Some bitch.
you've broken my level design, and I'm like, wait, you didn't intentionally leave this open for a clever person to find? He's like, no. I'm like, oh, well, you're welcome.
Oh, you need to have someone there before you submit it because you just know there's gonna be that one blatant error that you don't look at because you're already working on the next part.
Well,
I actually submitted like a couple, like 3 levels that I would one level that I'm actually like, yeah, this is a level I'd like people to see, type thing. But overall, it's just fun messing with the many different things. I didn't even get to unlock all the types.
Well, keep
Spooky
at it.
House is the
And
last one.
eventually, I will own the game, and then I will play the levels. Is it possible to share the levels with specific people on your friends list?
Well, specific. When you upload it, your level is always assigned to a code, so
wanna
you
search
just
for it.
give them the code.
Oh, okay. So once I get this game, then you can send me your levels, and I will
Yes.
happily break them for you.
They're on my brother's Wii U. I'll just get them from that. Like, there's like 3 levels that I've submitted in total.
Right now, I'm working on playing Yoshi's Woolly World, and holy shit, is it super cute and super fun.
Have
Me
you?
and,
have
me
any
and
of you
Holly are
played-
playing through that now.
So
is
you
a lot
know
of fun.
exactly what I'm talking about. I love it. The completionist in me like revels in exactly this type of game where you can go back and like find all the stamps, find all the little flower things.
I don't really care about the stamps. I just want to get all the Yoshis.
Yeah, get all the Yoshis, collect all the yarn to rebuild all the Yoshis, but I like having a little star next to the level once you've beaten it, saying that you beated it with full life and you collected all the little baubles on the inside. I'm like, yes, that level is 100% done. It's like with the Donkey Kong Country game, so you could actually beat it like 105 or 110% and get a special ending at the end. I'm like, yes, I want to complete it all and get a special ending. If there's no special ending at the end of this game, I'm going to be disappointed. I've not Googled it because I don't want to know. I want to like play this as if I were playing it like way back in the day. Because
Well, you just have the satisfaction that you've saved all of the Yoshi kind.
That's true.
Yarn
That's true.
Yoshis.
It could be worth it just for that.
I do not like how you can't just play any solid color Yoshis though. Like, they don't have just like
They have solid
blue.
green and they have solid red.
solid green and solid red, and that's it. And then like I'm just like, how can you not? At first, you should be able to create your own Yoshis.
I think you
surprised can't do
can. I thought there was an option to do that.
I think that's something they're adding later.
Okay, because I
Yeah.
saw something like that as a feature. It's like create and save your own Yoshi. I'm like, okay, that's interesting, but I don't really care that much because
Oh,
I got the one from the lava level, which is like a gray Yoshi with flames on his belly and feet. And I'm like, this Yoshi's cool. I'm playing this Yoshi, so I don't really need to make my own because this one's badass enough.
I just like the regular solid colors. I mean, it harkens back to all the old
Aren't you
games.
boring?
Yeah,
I just want to use the green one because it's the classic Yoshi, and everyone knows that the classic Yoshi is the best Yoshi.
Because Dark Blue is by far the most badass because he was the one in the original Yoshi games that fought all the big bosses. He was this 8th Yoshi. He would go in and just, I'll take on the big boss. And he was the most badass Yoshi. And I wanted that one, and I can't make him.
Oh, but anyway, what we were talking about earlier, I think with Sonic, because this started with Sonic.
Yes. Live action Sonic.
That I think with the video games, most of the games had some really good ideas behind them, and certain areas were kind of fun. And instead of being like, oh yeah, hey, we made this game, and yeah, it was kind of shitty, but it had these particular aspects that were good. Let's just work on making another game with all these really good aspects and cut away all the shit that didn't work. But instead of doing that and just focusing on what worked, they decided, hey, let's just start all over again from scratch every time around. Like, let's just dump the whole thing, start all over again, and try it again.
It seems to me like the whole franchise suffers from way too much meddling. Like, people are just like, they're not working with the good formula.
I would have made a game if it wasn't for you and your meddling kids.
Yeah, it just seems like constant, there's no confidence in the franchise. Like, we got to try something new. We got to do this new thing or this thing and this thing. It's like, you had a formula. You had something good.
It's kind of perfect, though, because they always portrayed Sonic as one of those, little rebellious teenager. Yeah, like those rebellious teenager type guys. And on the inside, they're rebellious and they act like they're all badass and everything because they're really insecure about themselves. And so that's really what the franchise is. It's super insecure about itself.
It'll figure its way out. I mean, once Sonic makes out with a real chick, come on.
No.
The possibilities.
Let's not even talk about that.
The shipping.
What was the thing that you'd said just a second ago? I forgot what it was already.
Oh, Tejan was talking about how, like, if you had a formula, like, it's like, but if you don't iterate on your formula, then you're just going to stagnate and you basically become Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Or Call of Duty. Or anything.
Did you guys hear that Assassin's Creed was actually, like, taking a break?
Which is good.
For a year?
Damn, they should.
They're still releasing some sort of shitty, like, 3-part...
Oh, yeah, because they're very... Ubisoft is trying to get in on the... Well, they aren't trying to. They have been for a while on the mobile market.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was a mobile game.
You know, like Assassin's Creed. What was the one that was Liberation that was mobile only? I think, and it was on the PS Vita, I think, and then it got ported to console. It was not a very good port, but they're getting into the mobile side of the gaming, which maybe has the more upside long term. But
that works. I've never liked the idea of releasing a new game annually. Like they do that with Madden, and something like with Madden or any sports game, it kind of makes sense
because you're just iterating on the engine.
Yeah, but stay the same. So a few improvements there.
It depends on who's making the game because Ubisoft is so big; they have like 4 studios. If it's a different studio making the game, then they're actually able to get the full dev cycle in and do a 3-year build. Where that's what Call of Duty does with their 3 studios. So they're able to actually rotate it. And each game is actually a little different.
Yeah, but still, you say they can do that. If you look at the creative process...
I'm not saying they are. I'm saying, like theoretically it can work, but it doesn't because it doesn't. Whereas, like, the potential, though, for the Assassin's Creed universe is still there. I haven't played Syndicate, but, like, Rogue was the last 360 game. In the middle of their annualization cycle. That was the year they put out 2 full-fledged titles at the same time. And Rogue was fucking great. It was a damn good game. And it was they haven't done anything with that story because it was kind of the cap on the whole Kenway trilogy with Edward, his Kenway, then his grandson, and something that happened to his son. The whole thing. It's very convoluted. But it's still got potential, and I hope they do take a year off and actually make it a better game.
Yeah, add a little bit more quality, a little bit more
interest.
Get back
to what the fuck is going on with the first civilization and all that kind of shit, because that was awesome, and then they just stopped.
Well, yeah, because it's hard to continue to build a.
Well, they killed their main character and didn't know where to go.
Yeah, and it's hard to build like interesting background stories and secondary plots and things like that, and juggle lots and lots of information when you're having to squirt out a full-fledged game with the storyline and everything every single year. You can't focus on all the world, the intricate world building like with a Bethesda game. It's launched really buggy and all that shit. But when you start playing the game, like there's so many places you can go and like you can read all the books, get all this lore, like figure out what the legends are in the land and like the different cultures of all the people. It's like you get all this rich stuff because there's been so much time that was dedicated to it, and you don't get that.
Yeah.
With a game that has to be rushed to be put out every single year. You lose all of the world building. Well, not all of it, but you lose a chunk of the world building.
Yeah, because like that was something that was so much fun to me about that series was, like seeing the computer like generate the world.
Mm-hmm.
And like I remember
Definitely.
cracking open the first Assassin's Creed and I was like, oh damn, this is awesome. Because I didn't get into Assassin's Creed until 3. I went back and bought the rest. And I'm not a guy who's going to jump in on a series and I'm going to play all the first games. Like I did that with Mass Effect. Thank God I did that with Mass Effect because the first one is not a very good game. Same with the first Assassin's Creed, but it progressively got better gameplay-wise. But they were all, like the first 2, and to some extent, I think Revelations, because it was a totally different world in the Middle East. They were just really impressive they just grabbed you and the world made you go, whoa, this is fucking cool. The last couple have done nothing for me outside of Black Flag. So it's like, I don't really care about that series right now. And I hope they can recapture that kind of
that's
jump.
That's something that I can really respect. Is it 2K Games that's doing the XCOM reboot? Like the XCOM 2 just came out.
Yeah, I could just hit.
I tweeted about this a day or two ago, but like I played the first game, Enemy, what was it? Not Enemy Unknown. Enemy Unknown. Yeah, it was Enemy Unknown. XCOM Enemy Unknown. It was a spiritual successor to XCOM UFO Defense, the very first XCOM game, way back in, I think it was 1995, 93, 97, somewhere in the early 90s. And it was so good. In fact, it was so good, like the cheap game that was launched first was supposed to be like just for the fans, and they were planning on this first-person shooter reimagining of XCOM that was just going to be called XCOM, and then they scrapped it with the huge success of the original rebooted XCOM game, and they turned it into XCOM the Bureau, which the whole thing was just a bloody mess. It was awful. I recommend just skipping over it completely.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, you can tell that poor thing was a Frankenstein project to begin with. Like they never should have dabbled with changing what they had. But anyway, so I don't even count that one as an XCOM game. So now this year it's been not quite a full 3 years between the first rebooted game and now its sequel, and it looks a little bit better than the first game, but fundamentally a lot of the gameplay is still the same. So they've really focused a lot of time like fleshing out the world, creating a story, and it's all PC only because they wanted it to be able to be procedurally generated instead of having like repeating levels. So it's pretty much infinitely playable. You're not going to be able to spawn in a certain part of the world and be like, oh yeah, I know this map, I know where the enemies are. It's not going to have that problem. So it's really like harkening back to the original game where it's unpredictable every single time you play a level. It may look similar, but it'll play different. And I can respect the hell out of that. And I love it when games do that. I have been missing that for a long time because it also gives you time to feel a little bit nostalgic. Like once you've beaten a game and it's like after its first year and then it's been like a year or two and you're like, oh man, yeah, I had so much fun with that game. I can't wait for the next one. And at that point in time, I'm ready. Like 2 years later, I'm ready for the next game. Like when the next one comes out the next year, I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. I feel like I just finished the last one. I don't need this one just yet. It's not like a TV show. I don't know. It's different. I like to absorb my games a little differently than I absorb my TV. I will binge watch the shit out of a TV show, but not video games.
Yeah, that's what I'm to go off that. Like I've been replaying Mass Effect 2 and 3 on Twitch, and I'm like halfway done with 3, and I'm like, man, I forgot how goddamn much fun this game was. I am so pumped for Andromeda right now.
I loved the third game up until the ending, and
I haven't gone back and played since they put out that DLC. I haven't touched it since. I didn't buy it.
When I beat it without any of the DLC, and
that's why I can't imagine. Like I think I had a decent amount of DLC the first time when I just played 3 before I even touched the other 2 games, and didn't find too much of a problem with it. I at least had the free like upgraded download for the ending.
Where they quote unquote, I'm using finger quotes here, where they fixed the ending. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this
Oh.
run I'm doing all the DLC because I didn't have any of it because I couldn't play maps for Extra Life with Chaos. We were trying to Mass Effect stream, and it's like, nope, I don't have any map packs. Fuck. So I bought all the DLC, and this playthrough, man, it's like I forgot how much fun this was.
Yeah, and there's so much more.
It's so
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
I'm gonna like go hyper when the next one comes out.
I was still
Is it gonna be? I can't remember. Has they said anything about it being PC?
No, they have been really radio silent on this franchise, which I like. I think they're taking a cue from Bethesda, in that we know it's coming out, but don't like
Yeah.
they're making it. We're not talking about it.
That's all you got to do. Like the games that hype themselves to death, like always do that. Like they like, oh, this is gonna be so good, get pumped, and everyone's like, yeah, I'm pumped, and then it's released, and everyone's like, this is it.
Yeah, they
like-
waste all their money getting you pumped, not actually working. Like I have a feeling with the next Elder Scrolls type thing, like it's gonna actually be a really good game if we don't know anything about it, and then just like, hey guys, guess what? It's out tomorrow.
Yeah, you just have to like quell your expectations.
Yeah, because like the Mass Effect, the only thing they've really said since they announced that they're doing it, and it's going to be in another galaxy and in the future, the only thing they've done since then is launch that N7 day with Jennifer Hale doing the voiceover as Commander Shepard, like saying goodbye to the franchise, and that was it. They haven't said nothing else since, and it just, I think they've shown a couple screenshots, and that's it. And I fucking love that. Like, and I cannot wait for E3 because they're going to drop some awesome bombs. I think at that presser, and it's going to be amazing.
I agree. I agree with you completely there. I also love that tactic. I don't know if it's because it's nostalgic there, or that's the way that things were when I was younger, but I really don't like you see the same thing with movies too, where the internet can ruin a movie experience for you by like talking it up and being like, oh yeah, you can expect this, you can expect that. Here's an interview with such and such, and they're talking about this, but no spoilers. And you're like, oh yeah, all this stuff, I'm so pumped for it. And then you watch it, I'm like, that's it? Wait a minute. I was expecting this to be so much more. And I think when you go into a movie or a video game or whatever without any sort of preconceived expectations other than like the general word of mouth, oh yeah, it's pretty good. I'm not going to tell you anything else, but so far my experience has been pretty good. Go check it out for yourself. I love that aspect of it where you just don't know. And you're experiencing it for the first time. You've got, you're meeting all the surprises yourself, and then you're the one that gets to tell people, "Oh yeah, I was totally surprised when this and this and this happened. I had no idea it was going to be this way."
Yep. And I'm curious to see if that will continue to be a trend, because like I think I've noticed it a little bit in like, because I follow a lot of like movie reviewers and stuff and video game reviewers, because a lot of my people that I look at as kind of celebrities, but not really, is in that world. And it's like I'm seeing a bit of a shift that way. Obviously, the biggest being, oh, hey, Fallout 4 is out in 4 months. You can pre-order it tomorrow. See ya. And if that kind of kickstarts a trend back to when, they announced everything, and then it was just there. There was like the hype train. Like, Chaos actually showed me a video last year about how hype is negative. It can be a negative, and is generally a negative. And I think we're seeing a trend away from like hype, like overhyping stuff, and just actual showing it to you and then delivering.
Yeah, the only time hype is good is when you have a Halo 2 to your Halo 1. And then the hype is good because everyone's already familiar with something like Halo 1, which was a smash hit. And then they're like started hyping up the second game. And you're like, yeah, but it's going to be the same thing, but it's going to be a little bit better. But they didn't tell you everything that was going to happen. Like, you might be able to play from another point of view other than Master Chief, just throwing that out there. And then when it happened, everyone's like, this exceeded all of our expectations. Like, it took everything that was great about the first game, added a whole nother, made it more cinematic, gave you like better voice acting, and showed you stuff from the Covenant side, which was always super fantastic. You see some of their, like, it just kind of opened up a whole new realm, and it's like, mind blown. Excellent example of hype used proper. But then, like, going from Halo 2 to Halo 3, we're like, okay, what else are you bringing to the table? Oh, well, we're making a better skybox. Yay?
Well, at that point, they didn't have like much place to go. Like, like Halo 2, outside of actually fully forming a campaign, which was more of a function of having to move offices and like having a crunch basically, which is why I think deadlines are stupid, which is why I like this whole like just say when it's going to be out, like when it's ready. Like they didn't say, "Oh, hey, Fallout's going to hit in November maybe, and then we're going to push it back 3 times." Like no, it's done. It's out in 4 months. And I saw, and to bring up that other point, that 10 Cloverfield Lane thing. I don't know if you guys. I haven't been listening to the podcast the last couple of weeks. You guys talked about that trailer that dropped a few weeks ago.
No, I actually haven't even heard of this.
All right,
10
so
Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah, I didn't hear about this either.
Mid-January, this trailer like just all of a sudden hit the internet, took it by storm. Well, not really by storm, but like among like people like reviewers and stuff were like, "Wait, is this a Cloverfield sequel? What the shit?" And it's a trailer that's got John Goodman is the star, a couple other up and coming younger actors, and it's just set in a bomb shelter. And it's you kind of get the sense that the woman's again there against her will, but like not in a like the guy doesn't want to do anything. It's just like I'm trying to keep you safe, and she tries to break out and like bust his head with a bottle, and then she goes up above ground and sees what's out there and just starts like you just kind of see her face freak out, and then it fades to black, and it's out in March. Nobody knew this movie. Nobody knew it was being made
because he was
Nothing-
so
That's
busy
so
working on the
epic.
Star
The
Wars.
surprise, like, granted, it's on a different note, but even when it was back with Five Nights at Freddy's was a major thing, and each of those games, like, the guy was just like, the game's coming, so, hey, it's out.
Yeah,
And
exactly. Like
it's just out.
it's like that never happens, especially in movies, because like everyone's like, oh hey, they're filming such and such on such a lot. Like it's just people are hounds about staking out these kind of things. Like people found out that there were photos from like week 2 of the Star Wars production of, oh yeah, this is the scene where you're going to see the Millennium Falcon, like that kind of stuff. And the movie's done, and it's a sequel to one of the best found footage movies and it's not a found footage movie. This one, it's a traditional format shot movie.
I think that was the only thing that really killed the original
I
Cloverfield for
hated
me.
Cloverfield for that.
Yeah, and it is not for everybody. I mean, that's just found footage genres in and of themselves. But and it's not a true sequel. It's more of a spiritual successor kind of thing. Like it's part of the same universe. Like the fact that this being in the Cloverfield, whatever it was, is here, kind of triggered a bunch of events to go down. And in the trailer, you see like the bomb shelter like rattle. Like maybe it's like artillery fire. Is it like a meteor shower? Like what's going on? And the fact that nobody knows anything about it is what's so incredibly cool. And I'm really I'm gonna go see it on opening night because like I have no fucking idea what's going on, and I love that. Because like the movie association, they put out last year a rule that like trailers can and that if shown in like theaters that are a part of their like union or whatever, they can't be over 2 minutes. That took 45 seconds off the limit for them to show trailers in their theaters, which is a pretty significant amount. And that kind of goes back to that trend of people are kind of getting away from the, showing everything.
Yeah, we figured out
I can't believe that was ever a trend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why did they ever feel the need that they should do that? There's no hype.
I think part of it is the fact that people, because I mean, you look at the way media changed around the internet. Everyone can figure out everything anyway, so why not show it to them right away?
And it was something we all thought we wanted. I can admit that back in the day, I was one of those people like, oh yeah, it'd be great to follow the development of these movies.
And there's so much content that you kind of have to show why they need to care.
Yeah, but then like
it's the easy way out. It's totally the easy way out.
Like I don't want to. So
I think it's like fear. It's totally fear. It's like, okay, we have to give them something.
Exactly.
You can't just be radio silent. You can't just.
I guess
no
you
strategy.
don't want to make it so that they forget about it. You want to create some hype, but it's creating hype in the wrong way. Like it's giving all the stuff that you would get on the collector's edition, like special features disc 2, of all of the like stuff in production. It's something you watch if you're a fan, like really enthused about the movie. It's not something you get hyped for the movie.
This is why you need a good marketing strategy.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to show people the story than to get them hyped for a story they don't really know anything about.
I think part of it is people just like these companies don't, or at least they didn't know how to market.
Oh yeah,
on the internet, like
because the landscape totally changed out.
Social media, and as soon as once Twitter and Facebook became a thing, like people just.
Our generation and younger,
the way they do business. Yeah,
our generation and younger became the bulk viewers, and we didn't grow up on, oh, hey, there's a movie trailer in front of this, and it's going to be out in a few months, and I have no other way to find out about this movie.
I learned
other
about
than-
movies on VHS.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
I learned about movies from like that were already out and released. I'm like, oh man, I want to see that movie because
Exactly.
I saw it on Disney.
yeah, we were maybe like
VHS.
the last generation that kind of got that more or less, because the internet literally wasn't a thing until,
I don't know. After speaking of Disney, though, like what they went through in the 2000s, where they went through sequelitis, like I was
Oh, yeah.
so happy. I think that maybe that played a part in it. You know, Disney's
They're still
huge.
doing
and
it.
I think that might have played a part in it. No, but they made really, really shitty
well,
sequels to
Pixar
all their
scared the
flashing.
shit out of
Direct-to-video?
us. They wanted to
No,
they wanted
like,
to bank on their bankable projects.
Pixar's worst sequel is better than Disney's best.
Except now all the
sequel
Disney
in-
sequels are Pixar sequels.
yeah, but still, you know what I'm saying, like
Except-
Cinderella 2 or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, I like
Peter
that
Pan 2.
Simba 1.5. Remember
Yeah,
that?
There's a
Lilo and
Peter Pan
Stitch
The
2.
Lion King 1.5.
There
Yeah,
is a
like this-
Peter Pan 2. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't make a Snow White 2. But I think that might have been why we, like we as I say we as like people who are on the internet and our typical generation, we felt burned by these companies that we grew up trusting. Like we all trusted Disney, because we loved their movies growing up, and then they started like making these horrible knockoffs that were like, Disney, why are you shaming yourselves? You're taking our childhood and you're making these horrible sequels that I would never even show my children.
Did you enjoy the television shows though, like the Aladdin cartoon,
Yeah, that was way back before.
Timon and Pumbaa?
Yeah, that was no,
I
not
remember
Timon.
that one.
You didn't like Timon and Pumbaa?
No,
I
They
saw
had
that a
they
long
had
time
PC
ago, but I was
game
like,
called
eh.
Swampberry Sling. I played the shit out of that game. I think I still have the disc somewhere. I should try to find it and see if it works.
yeah. But anyway, what I was trying to say is that because like Disney did that, to me personally, I felt kind of betrayed by them. So I definitely like wanted to watch the development of movies in general to decide whether or not I even wanted to watch them, because I'd seen them put out so much shit. I'm like, I need to like educate myself on these movies beforehand before I go to watch them, because otherwise I could just be walking in and watching shit just like Disney's producing now.
Oh, yeah.
So
I
You always
hear
have
ya.
to experience it for what it is. Like it's why I like to avoid like development stuff like that. Like I'll watch a trailer and I'll get pissed off if I'm
I don't
spoiled the
understand
trailer, but I want to
about
be
watching
hyped
any
in a
of
correct
that.
manner.
I didn't realize quite how much stuff for Star like because I wanted to see Star Wars 7 Vanilla. I never even watched any of the trailers.
Their trailers were fantastic though.
Oh yeah,
They showed
but
nothing.
that being said, I didn't realize how much like pre-production stuff has been coming out for the movies. Because if it's something I want to see, I just ignore
Oh,
it
yeah.
entirely.
Well, part of that too, like going off Dark's point, is like there's not a lot of trust in like names, like directors. Like there are maybe 5 directors that they make a movie, I'm watching it no matter what the hell it is. It's like it's Tarantino for
Yep.
damn sure. I'm gonna watch any movie that guy makes. Christopher Nolan,
Yep.
maybe Guillermo del Toro, depending on the subject matter, because some of his weirder stuff is too weird for me. But Pacific
It's-
Rim is like
it
extremely
may be
right up my alley.
weird,
That
but
was an
at least
amazing
it's
movie.
unique.
Yeah, exactly. Like he makes unique stories, and he's all about the world itself and the story
he's
as
a very
well.
visual storyteller.
Because Hellboy
too,
was
so-
awesome, and
Yes.
God, I want them to make Hellboy 3 so bad. But like, there are very few people and entertainment in like to get to video games. Like before Destiny, no matter what Bungie had made, I was gonna check it out because it's Bungie. They made 2 really awesome franchises. I haven't played much of the old Marathon franchise, but I heard it was a very solid PC franchise. And then Halo was Halo. But then they kind of squandered that trust with their audience, and
Well, as the
not
moment I
entirely their
heard that-
fault, because a lot of it was Activision being Activision.
No, I will totally blame them, because they chose to team up with Activision, and Activision, we all know what their reputation is. I'm like, Bungie, you're selling your soul by merging with Activision. They may have money, but don't, please.
At the
don't.
time, it seemed like a good idea.
because
Yeah,
of what
that's
was
the way
coming
all
out
these
was
stories
really
go.
cool sounding, and then we didn't get any of it. Which is another, and then again, maybe another thing that kind of goes down with the
yeah,
video
that's-
game is you see big games like Destiny just get lambasted on the market with, like, people just are burned by it because it's like you promised a
Let me
thing
tell
that
you-
you
yeah.
couldn't deliver, and
Ooh,
that's happened so much lately that I hope we're getting away from that, and developers are going, hey,
That's all
we're
a
just-
Kickstarter.
no,
we're
too.
just going to
But
make
they're-
our game
but-
and be done.
They're not right now. Okay, so yeah, so the whole Destiny thing pissed me off because they chopped it up when they didn't need to. But like now, so for how long it's been, people have been like, oh yeah, there's going to be the Final Fantasy VII. Did you hear that that Square
God.
Enix is planning on chopping up Final Fantasy VII and selling it in
Wait, what?
3 parts?
Yeah.
Like
I mean, okay, think about that game, like, and how expansive and explosive that game was, and that was already on 3 discs, and now they want to expand upon that, and I mean, honestly, they should just put all the discs in the game, but like in the
but
the
that's the thing.
box, but it's like
They never intended it originally. They never intended it to be a 3-part thing. So they're literally taking a full product, which they've been working on for who knows how long, and just chopping it up so they can sell it to you in
maybe
bits.
the amount of work that they're putting into it. I mean, like that is like
Maybe the cost just got
they're making their
exorbitant
money
high.
back by like this is the amount of work that these are the hours and the years that we're putting into this thing, and like this is what we're. I guess like if they put a price to how much they've worked on it, it's like this is what.
That's
This is how we get our money back.
You know, in an entertainment,
by
it's
selling
kind of
3 different parts.
hard to judge before we see the product.
Mhm.
You know, as for all the horror stories, like what if it comes out and it's just the most amazing thing ever and something everyone should try to emulate because it's amazing.
We did see what Square Enix did when they created that version of Final Fantasy on mobile.
I didn't because I don't like Final Fantasy. But
Dude, they released a port of Final Fantasy 9 for mobile.
I heard that. I saw that somewhere on like my news feed or something like that. I'm curious to see how that works out actually.
Yeah.
But they made that like it was like was it Final Fantasy Tactics or not No, that was Game Boy. They made some version of Final Fantasy that was specifically for the mobile, and it was like chocked full of microtransactions, and the game itself was pretty much broken. It just existed to pull money out of your wallet.
That's all those mobile games.
Yeah, but it's like it had Square Enix's name attached to it and the brand of Final Fantasy. So as soon as once they did that, my confidence in their ability to handle their own shit dropped significantly. So they're gonna and then when they decided to chop up the remake of Final Fantasy VII into 3 parts, I'm like, I'm the biggest skeptic.
So
I'm
I mean,
sit
think
back
about it. If it
watch.
wasn't a Final Fantasy VII game, like Final Fantasy 13 was in 3 parts. Like that was always planned to be 3 parts. Now, if it didn't have that Final Fantasy VII name attached to it, would you have had the same thought or the outrage?
It depends. So
Like,
had they were like,
if
yeah,
it
we're
wasn't
going.
Final Fantasy VII.
Had the situation been this, so like we're going to remake Final Fantasy VII, but we're going to make it more epic, expand on a lot of ideas, and it's going to be turned into a trilogy. If that was their original announcement, then yes. But it wasn't until what was it? There was another game that had come out that had
There's only a few months
arbitrarily split their game up, and they're like, yeah, we're going to do that with Final Fantasy now. It's like, really? Okay. So I'm like, excuse me while I put my skeptic glasses on and sip what's left of this glass of wine, and I'm gonna watch you either make the biggest mistake of your career or do something that's
people are gonna
good.
buy it regardless.
People
There's no way that's gonna fail.
People will buy part 1, but if part 1 winds up being really shitty, then all the development for parts 2 and 3, you know, they're not gonna. It's not gonna work.
I have utmost faith that they will do a good job.
I know, because here's the thing. Because if we all know how the story goes and how the story ends, so if part 1 of part 1, 2, and 3 is shitty, we're like, we already know how this story ends, so what's the point in buying the rest of it when the first part?
I mean, the thing, if they kill Ares in the first, because that actually, like when I played Final Fantasy VII a couple years ago, they kill her early. Like it's not that far into the game where she dies. I was very surprised at that. I thought that was going to be like the end.
Yeah.
Like that's the first third of the game. She's killed off. I actually leveled her up a lot, thinking I'm at least they're going to have her for the first 2/3 of the game, and then I'm like, okay, that was a waste.
Oh shit. So yeah, we have reached our time. It's 10:36 now, so we need to wrap this up.
Well, I mean,
we have to because I have to work in the morning. So.
And you're out of wine.
And I need to go watch Flash.
Well, I have more wine, but I don't need to drink it because I don't need to be like completely hungover when I go into work in the morning.
Bring
and
more
I'm
wine.
gonna watch Laser Team.
I'm gonna finish watching Laser Team before I go to bed tonight to help me unwind. And so yeah, so Tejan.
This has been the Forum Thread Podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at the Forum Thread and at TFT Plays. You can subscribe to us on iTunes, the Forum Thread Podcast on iTunes. You should watch or listen. If you watch it on iTunes, you're literally just staring at your player.
What a dummy.
So, I mean,
maybe they like progress bars.
Yeah, if you like that kind of sort of thing, go for
Maybe
it.
they get them erotically aroused.
If you actually want to watch us, we're on YouTube. We have a bunch of videos on YouTube. We have podcasts on YouTube. It's TFT Productions on YouTube. We also have a gaming channel called TFT Plays. That's where all of our fun gaming stuff happens. Do we have anything on TFT Plays that we're releasing anytime soon?
Yes, more parts of the soccer Let's Play are coming out,
Mhm.
and we also have a couple other Let's Plays that are also going to be created very soon. We have the two TFT Talks, of course.
Mhm.
And then I'm also guessing there's going to be a bunch of stuff from when Zach and Zelda and crew go back from the
Told him he
convention.
better be recording.
But they're not here right now, so we're not going to talk about them because up until they get back, they don't exist. So,
Yeah, they're dead to us.
Wartburg, anything you'd like to put in here? Take that as a no.
Well, kind of. I just had to think about what I was doing. I'm busy. I did not plan on coming on this podcast. It was like, hey, you want to be on? Sure, I just got back. Let's do it. What's going on? Oh, I've obviously been doing my full plays on Twitch for Mass Effect. They're almost all of Mass Effect 2 is up. Mass Effect 3 will be coming up shortly.
You still need help leveling?
Maybe. I'm actually gonna want to talk to anyone that has the game and all the DLCs. I'm gonna do.
I have the game on Xbox 360.
That's what I have it on, and that's what Chaos has it on. I'm pretty sure Jen
That's
has
what I
it
have
on.
it
Pat. I was thinking that would actually make a good TFT Let's Play. Do it like
Yes, it
Mass
would.
Effect Madness and do a multi-Twitch between.
Yes.
Or at least all individually record it and then make it a multi-cam Let's Play, which I would totally be up for editing. So that'd be
Alright, let's
awesome.
do that. Let's plan that.
Look for that, people. That's my thing I'm plugging
That's the
on
thing.
their channel.
So
yeah.
this has been the Tomcast and Chaos.
Thank you for joining us on the first ever Tomcast, podcast number 48. Good night, everybody. See you
Good
again. Well, I
night.
guess we didn't see you this week because technical
saw
difficulties.
you-
We'll see you next
I
week.
saw you in my mind because I can think of people.
And I saw you all in my pants.
Mind's eye.
Oh, it felt good.
And I imagined everyone naked, so.
Me too. Aw, we have that in common.
Yep.
This is why we don't do it with the cameras on.